remember this one company reached out to me and said, I want you to do our brand consulting. And I was like, how do you know me? And she sent me a YouTube video, and the link got to a YouTube video that had 7 views. Your is the number one reason people will buy from you. Number one, like authenticity is such a like ausgelutschtes.
It is,
like,
right? Everyone uses it, and you cannot.
And it doesn't really like it doesn't really mean anything
yes.
to us, right? You're authentic with your grandma in a different way that you're authentic with your husband and your friend, right? It's a different person.
Yeah.
By the way, if you scroll down on my Instagram, you will see me not being completely authentic when it comes to like how I portray information. Mm-hmm. You will see like me talking to the camera, like my 3 tips to, and I look like an AI version of myself because I don't let myself be my personality. Mm-hmm. And so I went through this myself. I had like ups and downs. And one thing that really helped me was, and the easiest thing that I always say to my mentees is, what happened in your personal life that changed the way you look at your industry, your business, your field. And that makes such a huge difference. Like when in my example, I converted to Islam. Now I looked at, I could do marketing and branding for any brand, and I could make you look really, really good because that's what I'm good at, right? But I only want to work with brands that actually have a positive impact. And so that is my story. In personal branding, it's that I converted to Islam and I had to rebrand myself, had to get people to notice me without like cold calling people. Because it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It's a very masculine way of doing business. And that's why so many women feel burned out and feel like maybe entrepreneurship is not for me, because I don't want to sell myself. I don't want to pitch the whole time. I don't want to hard launch my next program on social media and keep like every single post is about, 20% off if you sign up the next. It just doesn't work for us. And so if you'd ask yourself the story, what happened in my personal life that changed the way I look at business or my field or my industry, it will always come down with a very, very personal story. And with every single mentee, I've never had a person that we didn't break out in tears when I hear their story. Because it has so much to do with either pain or even happiness, getting out of pain. A lot of times it's something that happened in our childhood or in that reinvention phase. And so it's really, really deeply connected to who we are. And as women, that's what makes us so unique. We can connect to our intuition, we can connect to our why. And so this idea of the garden, you don't chase butterflies, you attract them with your garden. That garden is your personal brand, and once you tell your story, so many people will be able to connect. We always think, and that's the funny thing, there's a TED Talk. She has a Netflix show where she talks about the power of a very specific story. And she talked about the idea, she had this Netflix show and she had to pitch the pilot episode. You know, the pilot episode, when you create it, the producers afterwards will say, okay, we'll shoot this or not. And so she created this pilot episode, and at the end of the episode, it was the experience of a woman that is in Canada, and she's going on a stroll with her baby into the woods, and she sees a bear. She screams so loud that the bear turns around and leaves. And the director said, this is a horrible story. No one can ever relate to this. Even people who live in Canada will not be able to relate to this. This is too specific. And so she took the story to another production and they shot it and they aired it. And so many women came to her and said, I can relate to this story. Obviously, I'm not going to be like here in Dubai or in Germany and I see a bear and I scream at it. It's not obviously not going to happen, but the feeling of being a mother and protective of your child, every single mother can relate to this feeling. And it was a success. Like the show is a complete success. And so we always think the more specific we are with our story, less people will connect. But I can tell you from experience, I posted my story and my why in November, and after 2 weeks it got 300,000 views. The interesting thing is, so many women came to me and said, this is my story.
Wow.
This is exactly my story. And they're from Brazil, Indonesia, and places. How can you relate to someone who comes from a German village, leaving, converting? Like, it feels so unrealistic. But they literally said, this is my story. And so we just have to be brave enough to tell it.
I love that.
It's gonna be hard. Like, I cried. I did not want to post it. I had to ask a really good friend and mentor to edit it for me because I just couldn't. I was like, this is so cringe. I'm not going to cry on social media. What is this? But it's the reason, by the way, your why, your story is the number one reason people will buy from you.
100%.
Because they're going to be like, oh, she went through this. I went through this too. She came out of it. I want to learn how.
True.
I can connect to it. That's why you said earlier, right? People are looking for the numbers, but your clients, and if you listen to your clients, they look for the story. They 100%. Look for the connection.
And I think chasing the numbers, at the end of the day, the numbers doesn't say anything about the conversion or you owning that successful business, right? I mean, for everyone that is a coach, you want to help help people, that's what roots you. Or for everyone that's selling anything, having that number but not selling, what does it bring you? I mean, it gives you maybe credibility if you believe it, but honestly, it doesn't. And I want to talk about this as well, how to create that impact and make other people trust that you can help them to make that impact. And I think it already roots from what you said about the story. If you share your story and if you talk, I'll use the word again, I don't know if we can find another word for authentic, but true to yourself and to what you want to achieve, you will attract people to you because of the values you're sharing. And I want to talk more about the values and how deeply they are rooted in us with you. What just came to my mind as well is that people always think that people will get bored of me. Like, I'm so boring. And you said it's cringe because we grow out of the place, or maybe some traumas that we've experienced. Somebody bullied us for the way we look, or somebody told us that we cannot achieve it. Those were all small traumas that might hold us back now, like the inner child in us. But sharing it and overcoming it and getting help, maybe from a friend that could edit a video, or from a friend that could take a short video of while you're doing whatever you love and post it.
I remember this one company reached out to me and said, I want you to do our brand consulting. And I was like, how do you know me? So, research. Where did you find me? I watched this YouTube video and she sent me a YouTube video and the link got to a YouTube video that had 7 views.
Oh no.
And I was like, oh, it's not about how many people see you.
100%.
It's about the right people seeing you.
100%.